And I will kick off to you, Emma. And the main question I got from people is, how do you network, and what are some of the effective ways that you can expand your network? Emma.
So that's an interesting question. So I suppose people network in very, very, very different ways. So traditionally, my area is that in education, and predominantly in a role as teacher slash curriculum designer. So traditionally, my role doesn't encompass a lot of networking opportunities as such. But however, due to personal interests I have and other endeavors outside of my regular role, and networking is something I really enjoy, something I've been told I'm good at. So I'm happy to share definitely my experience. I think being a risk taker is a huge factor with networking. Okay, being a huge risk taker, and that also means not being afraid of rejection. Okay, you can't always guarantee that your experience to reaching out for people is going to be a fruitful one, but more times than not it is. And I think being a risk taker, not afraid of rejection, partner with grit and determination and perseverance. Okay, sometimes when there are viable opportunities that you find for networking, it might not be the time or place for another person. So I think a little bit of persistence also goes a long way with your networking. um, I think one of the most effective ways of networking as well is, no matter how formal the environment is or that you feel it is to network, I feel like starting a conversation on a casual and personal note is always a very effective tool that I've used, that's almost always successful with people. And knowing, I think, about someone's personal background as well as their professional background as well. Knowing someone's professional background and their previous endeavors is kind of an obvious one. Normally, when you would approach someone, it's relatively important to maybe know little bits and pieces about things that they've worked on before. But I think actually coming at it from a personal and a casual approach is a more effective start, because once you can showcase your personality, I think that that's a more powerful tool to initiate any conversation than entering a forum with solely a business mindset. Um, Business cards are a must, because I feel like, okay, business cards are actually even more effectively a virtual business card, something that you can WhatsApp someone in the moment. People tend to lose pieces of paper, so I think cover your base with both of those things. um and as well, I think if you're approaching somebody, I think you have to have a plan of exactly what you want to get from that conversation with that person, like what value you can add to what they're already doing or they hope to do in the future, as well as obviously what value they can add to your project as well. Networking in workspaces, sometimes even cafes. It doesn't always have to be in a formal setting. Again, I think I've mentioned that before. Um, so I think all of those things have been very useful tools with me. I think as well, like basically jumping on any invitation that comes your way, be it a physical or virtual invitation. I think you have to be seen to accept um, invitations, little or big or little. And it's good to put yourself out there, and in different circles, not always in the same sector, like the tech sector, the business sector, the art sector, the language sector, and so on. I think it's really, really, really important to mix things up. And from my point of view, networking in a casual environment is often more fruitful, as I've said already, because it's when people are most relaxed, their guard is not up. So it's kind of when you have the more in-depth conversations about what people are really about. And really remember, having a good idea is only part of the process. I really feel as well that if somebody likes you on a personal level, that goes a long way, in my experience, and that's across a multitude of cultures. I'm not just speaking about one single culture. Another few kind of, I suppose, more obvious ones would be ramp up your activity on social media, especially things like LinkedIn. And again, keeping, good relations and good contact with previous employers, previous colleagues. And I think as well, things like what Anne is doing here today, organizing your own event, is a great start as well. And again, if you can get your friends and family to like participate and send links, it doesn't always have to be on a professional platform like LinkedIn. You just never know when opportunities are everywhere all the time, not just in a formal environment. And that's really, I think, what has worked best for me. And I've been told I'm good at it. So any questions? If anyone has any questions, follow-up questions on what we've just said there, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, I have a follow